Hey everyone, welcome back to Bird Talk with College Football Hall of Famer Terrence Mathis. I'm William Brandon. We'll get to the Hall of Famer and how he feels in a moment, but please make sure to subscribe to Atlanta Sports Unlimited and turn on those notifications so you don't miss an episode. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the simplest sports fantasy game on the market. You can pick from multiple sports platforms. And get this, sign up using the code ASU and Prize Picks will 100% match your initial offer up to $100. Download the app for free at the Google Play Store or the App Store. Well, like you said, we got a lot to discuss today. But like I was saying in the opening, that Terrence Mathis has now been inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. What were your initial reactions and how did you find out?
It was crazy because I remember the day and the time. It was January 9th this year, and I had my doorbell rang, and I knew who it was. It was the termite inspection guy.
Uh-huh.
And he said, somebody left a package on your porch for you. And I said, well, if it's not for me, I'm not opening it. So I seen my name on it. I was like, what is this? So I went to open it and I seen the football with my name on it. And I just thought it was, hey, congratulations for being nominated. That's what I thought football was for. So then there was an envelope in a box, and I opened the envelope and it said, congratulations. I read it 4 times. Four times. I had to read it 4 times. And I called my wife, and she was ecstatic, and she was at work, and she's screaming at work, and I'm still calm at the time because I couldn't believe it. And I was like, I want to scream, but I'm gonna stay calm. So in the letter, it said it was the same night of the college football championship game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It says, well, we're gonna announce it in the pregame of the show of the game, and please don't post it or tell anybody else. So I had to hold it until about 4:30, 5 o'clock that evening. So I told my sisters to watch ESPN. So they did, and then they all, they FaceTime me all together. And one of my sisters are in tears. She crying and couldn't believe it. She said, this is incredible. And it hit me because she said, when she said, Mom would be so proud. And I was like, oh my God. And I just broke down and started crying and just thought about the different steps that got me to this point today in my college career and my teammates and the people in the city and all those things that, evolved around making me the college Hall of Famer that I am today. So it was nice, man. And then just the outpouring love on social media, man, it was incredible. And the phone calls, from all people, from Hall of Famers, college Hall of Famers, pro football Hall of Famers, coaches, friends, family. It was, man, remarkable. And it is funny because just last week I got the package of what it all entails. And I got excited all over again. So I had to relive it a few times already. So, the induction ceremony is December 5th in Vegas. So at the area. So, and people saying this is probably one of the most prestigious classes that they could remember.
Yeah.
There's Tim Tebow, Reggie Bush, and others. So it's gonna be a fun night, man. It's gonna be a fun night.
It definitely is, man. Kudos to you. It's well deserved. I was ecstatic, as you know, when I saw it, because I immediately hit you up. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you, man.
I think it's well deserved, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So congratulations to you. Can you tell us what was inside that package you just received? You said it was entailed more.
Yeah, it was just telling us, accommodations, tickets, what's going on, what is expected, dress, all those things, gas tables, all those things. And it was, it was pretty cool to see that. I got to turn in some things, and I got to give them my ring size. So I don't know my ring size. So I'm like, I'm getting a ring. I'm getting a Hall of Fame ring. So I was all excited about that. So I got to get them that. So that's the cool thing. But, I don't want to put a damper on this moment. And here's the, okay. Every team that I've played for but one sent me a congratulations.
And I hope it's not the team here. that didn't?
There's two out of the three teams that I played for sent a congratulations. They even did something on their local news
Ugh.
and put it in their local papers.
So I'm gonna take it that was New York and Pittsburgh.
Yes.
That's a shame.
I didn't get a call. I haven't, and I shouldn't expect it, but at the same time, you know,
I mean, I
if it wasn't for my college career, I wouldn't have been able to play at the highest level. So but at the end of the day, man, you know what? You can't steal my joy.
oh yeah, they definitely can't.
Yeah,
But
they can't
I'm
steal my joy.
that
But that's
is
okay. We're gonna talk about this offseason with the Falcons right now and where they're going and what we think about them, right now. I've heard before you ask any questions.
Mhm.
I've heard and seen everything from the last thing that I've seen, Sam Darnold. It's just so ridiculous of what people are putting out there. But so some of it has some really, really credibility to it, and I like what some people are saying. But then there's some things that uh, you got to really sit down and evaluate and really think about things before you want this organization to make certain moves.
yeah.
And I'm gonna leave it up to you. What's your first question? I know what it may be.
Well, okay, so well, not necessarily. I was just going to say the Falcons did win their final two games of the year,
Mhm.
essentially making them undefeated in 2023. They finally beat Brady, I guess you could say, because
Yeah.
he started that game. Dean Pease retired. I mean, what do you think? We'll start there. What do you feel like? I mean, it was time because maybe it's just time
Well,
personally, not necessarily
I
philosophy
don't
wise, but
I don't think it was football, sort of say. It had something to do with it, wear and tear. You've
Mhm.
been doing it for a long time. Um, Last 2 years, you haven't really got any gratification from it. You get hit on the sidelines in one game. It's one of those things it's time for me to move on.
Mhm.
It's not like the game is passing by. I just think that, when you've had success at organizations where they really had some dudes,
Mhm.
and then you didn't have the quite that roster that you used to working with.
Yeah.
I think it was frustrating, whatsoever. This is a new day, new players, you know, new way of doing things, and I think I think he walked away, with a lot of respect from a lot of people in the business.
Definitely. I mean, I enjoyed Dean Pease's time here. I felt like the Falcons defense was starting to turn a corner with
Right,
his philosophy. I
right.
hope that the new defensive coordinator who's brought in from New Orleans
Hmm.
can keep that going. What do you
Hmm.
think about the Falcons that we continue to pluck from Chicago and New Orleans? We're just building these teams up off of our current personnel as
Oh,
far as the front office is concerned. I get it; they know
I,
these guys, but
I'm glad you hired a defensive coordinator. You hired a defensive coordinator from the most rival opponent that we ever faced in the history of this franchise. Um, and I know a lot of people are excited. They're going, "Oh my God, his defense was this." It wasn't his defense, people. Come on now. Come on now. We get excited about when we get a player or some personnel people or something. We get so excited and but we're not reading the whole package
right,
that that's coming with it. This man got I want him to do a great job, but let me give you a little background first. He was named co-defensive coordinator because Allen became the head coach.
right.
He's been calling defenses Allen has been calling defenses for the last 10, 11 years for the New Orleans Saints. So our new defensive coordinator, he maybe was involved in some things, but he was not the defensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints. Let's get that. And you say that, oh, our defensive line is going to be so much better because their defensive line, he knows defensive line. Let me stop you there.
Cam
You
Jordan.
become a defensive coordinator, you don't coach a position anymore. You hire somebody else to do that stuff.
Okay.
So he won't be coaching the defensive line. So understand this. We just hired a guy who's going to be first time defensive coordinator, putting together game packages, practice packages, and calling plays on Sunday. Point blank. But can he do it? Nah. It's still, the jury is out. But as we see in the NFL, they just hiring people because they hiring people. And are they qualified? I can't say they're qualified or not, because at the end of the day, wins and losses will show that. But I think that we're hiring people we feel comfortable with. We're hiring people that we know. And I say we because I'm still part of this franchise because of what I've done. So you hiring people that you're comfortable with. At the same time, my philosophy is hire those that's going to make you uncomfortable to be comfortable at your job. Let me make that make sense. Hire someone that questions the things that you do, but gonna agree with you once it makes sense. That makes sense to you? I mean, you can't just have a person that says, "Oh,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah." No, somebody has to say, "No, no, 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 no. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I don't think we should do that.
Yeah.
We need to take another look at that. You need to have somebody make you be better. If you hiring people that's not gonna help you get better at your job, you're failing yourself and everybody else around you."
So we'll get back to the elephant in the room, so to speak. So speaking of uncomfortability, our current quarterback, he seemed to get comfortable as the games went on. We said last year he should have been starting earlier on so we could get a better assessment of what he has to offer. I thought he played well to finish the season. I'm speaking of Desmond Ridder, the Falcons quarterback. Since the offseason, you've heard Mr. Blank come out and say that they like him, this, that, and the third. But we also hear Lamar Jackson to the Atlanta Falcons. Where are you with all this quarterback talk? Do we keep Ridder? Do you like the possibility of Lamar? Do you want to be back in salary cap purgatory for another 3 or 4 years?
Right. What here you said some very interesting things right there. I love the way this young man played at the end of the year. I loved his poise. I loved his temperament. I love his control of the game. And he's only going to get better. And I wish we would have started him 3 or 4 weeks earlier, like we thought it would when we were at 500. Telling where we would be at this moment and where he would be. He knows the offense. He knows what's expected of him. The guys rallied around him. They trust him. They like him. And that's your quarterback. You bring in someone new, it got to be start all over again. Is he good in the locker room? Do I like him? Can I trust him? Does he know what we're doing? How quick is he gonna catch on? All those things, I get that. But when your owner says we like Ridder and where we are with him, that kind of tells you we're not doing anything else different. If he would have said, like he said when he hired Fontenot and Smith, that I'm gonna leave it up to them to decide on Matt Ryan and Julio Jones.
Right.
Now we going, okay, now the antennas go up. He didn't say this time. He says, I like and we like Ridder. So that's kind of right on the wall. Anything can change. Yeah. And anything can change. Now talk about the elephant in the room. The more and more I think about it over the last couple of days, I thought about something and I says, well, I kind of say, well, what the hell, give up first rounder 23 and 24 and go get him. Give up a first round pick in the next 2 years, go get him. And if that's going to happen over the next 2 or 3 years, I get out of the second round too. You ain't going to be able to afford nobody. So you might as well trade those picks and get more third and fourth round picks so you can save some money, because he's going to want guaranteed money, all of it guaranteed.
All of it. Yeah.
So are you willing to roll the dice on that? And here's the thing. Here's the thing. And I can't speak for another man. I can't speak for another man and what he's thinking whatsoever all those things. But here's the thing. We want him because we think he's going to make us better and can take us to playoffs and eventually far. That's what we're wanting him for. And does he want, here's this, is it, are you going to define your career on chasing money or chasing championships? If that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, you're at an organization that is probably 2 games away from the AFC Championship game. If you would have played, no telling how far you would have went from there. And now, but you want to go get guaranteed money to come to an organization that may be 2 or 3 years from an NFC Championship game, and frustration sets in a couple of years. So there's a lot of things you got to weigh there. And I know a lot of people going to disagree and says, well, you negative. I'm not being negative here. I'm just weighing both sides.
Yeah.
I'm just being real with it. Now you got to understand this, are we starting all over again? Because what happens is if you sign a guy like Lamar Jackson and you give him guaranteed money, we're pretty much starting all over again. Because you can't sign most of the free agents that we have on the roster now. Mm-hmm. You can't go out and sign any big time free agents that's going to help us, offensive line, wide receiver, corner, safety. You're not going to be able to do that. So pretty much we're putting all our eggs in one basket with Lamar Jackson, if that's what we want to do. And if that's what you want to do, go do it. At the end of the day, it's your football team. It's you do it the way you want to do it, and you don't have to really answer to us at all. At the end of the day, you answer to the owner, and we. So I can't. It's so funny though, because I can't get a pulse of what's going on with the Falcons, and they've been like this for the last 2 years. So we won't know until free agency start which direction they're going in. Then we won't know until it's closer to the draft what they're trying to do. Fontenot does not talk much to the media. Arthur Smith don't talk much to the media. Rich McKay got a new role. He gave up the presidency role, and a lot of things has happened over this offseason. So it's hard to say, but it's fun to read everything that what people think and what they're hearing and all those things. I hear it on ESPN. The best look for Lamar is if he's not in Baltimore, it's in Atlanta. I get it. That's fine. That's you know what? If he comes here, look, oof, let's put some weapons around him. I don't know how we do it, but let's put some weapons around him.
Yeah, the offensive side as far as might be okay, but there goes our defensive end.
Yeah.
That's out the window.
Yeah.
A lot of things will go out the window, as you said, with that.
Yeah. It is. But here's the thing. You're looking at the free agent market. There's really not anybody out there that just says, we gotta
have them. Yeah.
There's not really anyone out there. Interesting thing that happened today. Bobby Wagner got, they mutually parted ways at the Rams. Here's a guy that still has a motor to him and a lot of experience that would bring some professionalism to your locker room and to your game day. So that's a guy that, that can play in the middle and do some really good things for us, and even come off the edge and do some good things for us. And I'm at his age, I'm sure it's not gonna be a lot of money to get him. You look at Robert Woods, who just got released for the Titans. Yeah, that's a bargain. Wide receiver, that's a bargain for us. Now that's a big play guy for us with some experience that knows this type of offense, because it's similar to what the Rams run, and he understands what it's about. That gives Ritter another target. Offensive line wise, at the end of the day, man, you're gonna lose some guys and you're gonna bring some guys in. It's just that whoever you bring in has to be a good match, right, for the group. And And all Grady Jarrett wants is a partner next to him that's going to take some double teams off of him. And you need a guy that's going to, when he gets double teamed, that's going to cause some havoc. And there's some guys out there, but there's some young guys in the draft out there also that can make a strong push to be a starter here and be effective.
And I know I'm turning back the clock, but you brought up Grady, and it made me think of that last game, and he blew up that offensive line, and then after that, Brady was like, "I'm out of here. I'm done. Don't because he was getting back there, and I mean, it was almost like the Jadeveon Clowney play he made that time, but he just bust through and knocked over the fullback or whoever, and almost got Brady. And then after that, Brady's like, "Okay, I don't need to be in here for this.
I don't need this no more.
We're in the playoffs. I'm done."
I'm done. It's gonna be an interesting March for sure. It's gonna be very interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing what this team is going to do, because like you said, on the offensive side of the ball, I'm not worried because you have a big three right now, and then with Pitts coming back, you have 4 weapons. You're going to have a more experienced offensive line, so you're going to be better offensively. So now I think with a quarterback like Ritter, you should be able to light it up a little bit more, throw some more deep balls, do some more creative things offensively. Your running game is solid. Defensively, you need another safety. You need a guy that can command that secondary and put them in the right positions to make plays. I think you're going to see a faster, bigger, more physical defense with this new defensive coordinator. I think I do like that. It's a guy that here's a guy that's young enough, that's been around a group of guys that demands to be taught. So he understands that. So now he has to bring that to the meeting rooms with the Falcons and demand them to listen and to perform at a high level.
I'm so interested in this offseason. I mean, if we don't get Lamar, that's fine, but I'm so interested in this whole salary cap, because that's all that the offseason they talked about, the money. The fans seem to think because we got all this money that Arthur Smith and them are going to do wonders. I would like them to, but I need to see it. We have not we have not played in the playoff game 5 years ago last month, January, against the Philadelphia Eagles. It was 5 years ago. And these Falcons are just continuously on a downward slope. So my mind, something has to change. The Falcons have to make the playoffs this season. We can't go another season with the same everything, so to speak. That was my 2 cents.
Right. I get you. You look around the league and you see what other people are doing, other teams are doing, what the Eagles has just done with their second-year coach whatsoever, but he has Jalen Hurts. And he had a great running game, but the defense was lights out. That's how you win championships and go to Super Bowls and eventually try to almost win a championship with a defense. And that's that's key to winning. So, we're back. We've been on hiatus for a few weeks. We wanted just to reintroduce ourselves. This is the time where we get really grimy with things, and we're gonna people gonna get mad at us. But look, at the same time, let's talk. When I dismiss your opinions and what you think, so don't do it to me. I'm just answering some of the questions or some of the things you put out there. You can come back at me and says, "Hey, Terrence, I think this, I think that. What do you think about this?" But don't come back to me and says, "You're dead wrong. You don't know what you're talking about." Don't do that to me, because I would never do it to you. Right. But if you send in some questions, some comments, and we can talk about it point blank, but don't be disrespectful.
Right on. Don't do that, and please send the questions in. Like you said, we're gearing up for a long off season. He's going to have his draft. Terrence, I'm speaking about, he's going to have his draft, and if you've listened to his previous drafts, he's been spot on. The Falcons didn't necessarily take what he put out there, and some they did. But I think that's a big part of those late rounds that you always speak about. I noticed with these other franchises, they find those
Mm-hmm.
winners, those gems in these
Yeah.
late rounds. I mean, Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, things like that. These other teams have found, and I hope our front office can actually find the guys that can play consistently and play
Right.
at a high level.
For sure. For sure. For sure. I'm looking forward to it. I already did one mock draft. I can't tell you about it right now, but it's pretty doggone good.
So what you got
When it's
for us?
time, I'll let you know.
Please do. Please do. What you got for us in the show today, Terrence?
Here's the thing. I want you all to know this. God hears your prayers. He really does. He hears your prayers. He understands what you need and what you want. He understands the urgency of it. He understands. Just wait on it and be patient. Don't get in his way. When you ask God for something and when you think it's not happening on time, you try to make it happen. And then when you get in his way, he moves away. So stay out of his way and let him do his thing. Look, he's brought you through so many storms before. He brought you through so many situations before. He would do it again. He would do it again. I mean, think about the Israelites for 40 years in the desert. He brought them over. He took them to the promised land. Just wait. Your promised land is coming.
Right on.
There you
Thank
go.
you as always, T. Make sure, everyone, that you subscribe to Atlanta Sports Unlimited and give us some questions. We're happy to answer them, and we're going to get back to you. Have a great one, everybody.
For sure.